Live Impact News right here on the WCNC Charlotte app. Right now, we want to get to some breaking news that is happening in Matthews. So right now, Wesley Chapel Fire, Charlotte Fire Department, Matthews Fire are all on scene of a major gas leak with explosion and fire at the intersection of Pleasant Plains and Road and Morningwood Drive. This is a picture that you're looking at from Matthews Fire. You can see lots and lots of flames coming up as those crews are battling this fire right now. We want to show you a look from our WCNC Monroe camera. You can see some of the smoke still a little bit. We had to adjust the coloring for you guys so you could see that smoke. I want to show you this though. Earlier today, we took this around 12:45-ish. That's when we started hearing that this fire was happening. We know that a lot of people are being affected right now. People are being evacuated from their homes right now in Matthews. We really want to show you this map, though, that we have on where this fire is. You can see Pleasant Plains Road right along there and Morningwood Drive. All of that red, that is because these areas are blocked off right now. At that intersection, you can see this is where they're saying that gas leak explosion did happen. I really want to bring in our producer, James, right now because he does live in Matthews, close to that area. James, you have been following this right when we got those calls coming in. So what can you tell us about what you've been seeing and hearing?
Yeah, Megan, as we're waiting for our first ground shots from our crew that is en route and should be there within the next few minutes, we've been looking at maps. And I want to point out something that I think is very unique about this situation is it is right on not only a town line, but also a county line. So it's Matthews Fire Department that has command. And it seems like the fire is in their jurisdiction, but they're getting support right now from firefighters in Union County and from the Charlotte Fire Department because it is right on essentially an imaginary line, right, where all of these boundaries come together, which is giving them, in a sense, extra resources that are heading to the scene. But it is a very interesting part of town because you often drive not only, again, between one town and the next town, but between one county and the next county, and it's not always clear where that line is. Speaking of Union County, the video we're showing you on the screen right now, this is our weather camera in Monroe. So we've zoomed it in essentially north and a little west, and we were able to see that smoke plume all the way down from downtown Monroe. So that's how big the smoke plume was at one point. That's about 10 miles away. And so anyone who's in this area can probably also see that smoke plume, especially if you're driving along I-485, which is right on through there.
James, I'm going to punch up what it looks like now,
okay,
just so you can see.
And this is the live shot. So it does seem like they've got it knocked down a little bit. We're seeing less smoke that's in the air, but we know that firefighters are trying to attack this fire from multiple different angles. And that photo that Matthews Fire Department put out shows the extent of the fire, or at least one portion of the fire. Again, that is probably being fed from that gas line that we know that they struck, or somebody struck, or burst, or something. And that's probably what's giving that fire its height there and in its size. And that's why they've got, again, at least 3 different fire departments from 2 different counties responding to this, Megan.
And also, too, I just want to know, to the drought here, it's been absolutely dry. So these things, like you see those trees on fire in this picture, things catching fire very, very easily. I also want to note that paramedics are currently on the scene as well. And like I said, several homes have been evacuated in that area. So there are no reports of injuries at this time, but crews are saying to avoid the area until this situation is out of control. We do have a photographer, Pierre. He is heading down there right now. Our reporter, Autumn Bracey, is going to meet him there too. So we are waiting for those live pictures. But like we were saying, several fire departments responding to this. We got Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Charlotte Fire Department, of course, Matthews Fire, scene of a major gas leak with explosion. So very dry out there. They're going to have to be fighting these flames, and a lot of people under some water restrictions too. So we're going to definitely continue to watch this and monitor this as we wait for our crews to get there and get you a live picture. For now, we're going to take a 2-minute break, but we'll be right back right here on Live Impact News. Watching live Impact News right here on the WCNC Charlotte app. If you're just joining us, we are following breaking news right now in Matthews. We have this gas leak with explosion and fire at the intersection of Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. You're looking at pictures right now from Matthews Fire, just showing the extent of that fire in that area. We know Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, and Charlotte Fire Department are on scene. We also know that homes are being evacuated at this time. There are no reports of injuries, but they're asking people to avoid this area. We also know that paramedics are currently on the scene. Our James Brierson is here. He is producer here, and he lives around that area. James, I want to talk about this area a little bit more. Let's talk about what is in that area. I know a lot of homes, some businesses. This is a map we're taking a look at right now. We know that area is blocked off, but James, what do we usually see around there?
So just to give you kind of a scene set, we're in the suburbs of Charlotte. We're right on the county line between Mecklenburg and Union County. This particular area borders a portion of Charlotte, Matthews, and Stallings. And so you have a mixture of single-family homes, some of which are manufactured homes, some of which are maybe two-story homes. And then we also have businesses in the area. There's a shopping center not too far away from here that houses like a dollar store and an anchor kind of food store. And then you also have a church and some other facilities nearby. There is also, between two neighborhoods, an extension construction project underway right now where they're extending McKee Road that will kind of bypass this neighborhood, which is frequently used as a cut-through street. And so when our crew gets on scene, Megan, we'll get a better sense for specifically where the fire is, because I think it would be premature for me to say that it had anything to do with the McKee Road construction. But we do know that there have been crews in the area working on not only road projects, but utility projects. And so the idea that a gas line could have been struck by one of those crews seems plausible. Again, where we believe the fire is right now is in this residential neighborhood along Morningwood, and we believe it's being fueled by a gas line. And so that's going to give it a lot of fuel until they're able to get that gas line cut off.
And also to note, too, like we were saying earlier, the drought here, a lot of this foliage is very, very dry. Carlene, can you bring up that picture again? Because I just kind of want to show everybody who is watching right now. Look at how close those mailboxes are to those flames. That means that there is, homes right there. So I know that they are evacuating several homes and paramedics are on scene. Thankfully, no injuries are reported at this time, but we're still working on what caused this fire and what people are doing in that area. I know, like I said, people are being evacuated at this point. James is pointing out that we do have a crew on the way. We have our photographer, Pierre, on the way, and then our reporter, Autumn Bracey, hopefully getting there soon and safe to give us a live report from that scene. But, this is something that we usually don't see, a major gas leak with explosions in very scary situation, especially when it is around these homes and can be very, very dangerous. Like I'm saying, like those mailboxes right there.
How close to quarters are we talking about with these residences?
Like how close are these? I'm always bad at estimating acreage size, but I would say these are going to be homes that do have yards, at least small yards.
Okay.
And I'm comparing that to what you might see closer to Charlotte, where you get closer to the city center and you have like either shared walls or you have like homes that are like maybe a trash can width aside. No, that's not that. This is more suburbs. There is going to be a plot of land that has some grass. So most of these homes do have space between them. Now, with that being said, as Megan's been mentioning, there is a drought. So a lot of the grass and the trees and stuff are very dry here and everywhere else across the area. So it's our understanding that the fire department is kind of monitoring this from different sides to make sure that it doesn't spread and that they can keep it contained to this one location.
But as you were saying too, James, gas, that's the very scary part of that, right? Because it can continue to fuel this fire. What we're looking at right now is
this is video
that we took around 12:40, I would say, of the fire when it first, we first got reports. We heard it and we monitored it right away. And so this is what we were rolling on earlier. You can see all of that black smoke coming up. So Let's take a live look, though, at what it looks like right now, Carlene, if we could. Yep. So it does look like there's not as much smoke in the area, which is good news as we are working to learn the status of this fire right now. But we do know that several crews on scene, like I was saying, Matthews, Wesley Chapel, Charlotte Fire, all there working the scene right now. No injuries at this time, which is good news. But people are evacuating that area. I'm sure folks, too, who are not, able to be at their homes right now, pretty concerned about what's going on, especially on Morningwood Drive, because that's where it seems to be happening at this point. So very scary for those folks, especially if they are not home or they have animals in the home. These roads are blocked off right now. Carlene, can you bring up that map again? I just kind of want to show. Okay, yes. And we are actually getting new pictures. Do you see that from Hank? He just sent one in from Matthews Police, actually. So we do have Matthews Police on scene. Right quick. We're going to pull that in. Okay. Yeah. But like I said, this road, Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive, saying at that intersection, so that area is going to be closed. You can see that Pleasant Plains Baptist Church is there. We have Leaf Spring School at Matthews right close to there, just down the road, Grace Academy. And so these are the areas that are really going to be evacuated at this time because they're close to that. If we can pull up that new picture, yeah, you see all of that smoke. This is from Matthews Police, who are also in the area responding. You can see lots of crews there. I am also guessing that is a looks like what am I trying to say?
The vehicle on the right.
The vehicle on the right.
So the vehicle on the right, I've
electric, right?
I think that is a Pike Energy truck. Based on seeing similar trucks around town, I believe that is a utility contractor.
Okay. Maybe hopefully trying to shut off gas, you think, or?
I don't know for sure the relationship between them and, say, Piedmont Natural Gas.
We have reached out to Piedmont.
We are working on reaching out to Piedmont, and we're also reaching out to the power companies, and I think Pike is on our list to call and try to get some additional information from.
Right. But once again, you can just see those flames and that smoke in that area. Absolutely incredible as this gas leak turned to an explosion. And just look at the driveways. I mean, you can see those driveways are pretty close together. Yeah. So something that we're definitely watching. Like I said, in this area, it is blocked off and people are being evacuated at this time. No injuries so far. So that is some good news. Paramedics are on scene right now. Like I said, we have our crew working to get down there. It takes about 30 minutes or so to get down there, of course. Then they have to set up and give in a safe location. Oh, okay.
Hold up.
Right as I'm talking about it, we do have a shot. Looks like they are trying to set up right now. I don't know if
I'm gonna go.
Oh, yep. This is a live shot right now. It looks like our Pierre is there live. He's our photographer, showing you scenes live from this fire.
That green sign in the middle of the shot is literally the line between Matthews and Stallings.
Okay, Matthews and Stallings. Okay, so yeah, you can see that right there. I mean, and look at the grass too. I mean, pretty dry. You can tell that grass is dry. Looks like our Pierre too, probably out farther. They're probably keeping him back for his safety, which, we appreciate. But you can see the amount of vehicles just on this roadway. Tons of vehicles right now. I'm seeing 3 fire trucks just from our eyesight. I do see that ambulance in the background, several other patrol vehicles in that area. Like I said, this area is shut down right now. People are evacuating. Looks like we are getting another shot. You can see those flames in the back. Wow. That is incredible. Lots of flames. Looks like right in somebody's backyard. Yeah. Like I said, that's why they are making sure people are out of their homes at this time. If you do know anybody in that area, please make sure that they are safe at this time and not trying to get back into that area, because as you can see through the trees, these flames are violent. They are very large.
These trees are dry.
And these trees are dry. We are in a drought right now. So it does make for very, very harsh conditions, especially for those firefighters responding right now. We have several crews out there, Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire, and Charlotte Fire, on this scene of this gas leak with explosion that is spreading, it looks like, on Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. Photographer Pierre there trying to be safe with this shot, but like I said, you can see those flames in the backyard. James, I also too want you to talk about the area a little bit more for us.
Yeah, so I was just trying to find on map exactly where Pierre is set up. I suspect we sent him to the Pleasant Plains side of this fire, but again, this fire on Morningwood is going to be kind of between Pleasant Plains Road and what is known as Old Monroe, or maybe East John Street, kind of goes by two names on the other side. So Morningwood goes between those two. And so I believe Pierre's perspective right now is from the Pleasant Plains side of the road, and I'm working to confirm that right now. The other thought that was coming to mind, Megan, was I did a story about a year ago with the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety, which is here in the Carolinas, and they were intentionally lighting a home on fire to see how wildfires and things spread. The reason I'm bringing that up, because looking at Pierre's pictures, those flames are going to be really hot. I think he's getting an interview right now, and I'm going to look to Carlene to see if...
Yes, it sounds...
Let's take a listen into this, Carlene.
BNJ AMIN.
And last name?
Claston, HLASTAN.
And you're a Matthews resident? Stallings resident?
Well, we currently are staying across the street here.
Okay. And basically, tell me what you saw about 30, 40 minutes ago, about an hour ago.
About an hour ago, yeah. So anyway, I was doing my studies and work and so on, and suddenly I heard this whooshing sound. And then eventually, about 20 minutes later, 15, 20 minutes later, came out to see with my son what was going on. And so we saw this huge flame, and the police department and the fire department was already there. So they were already helping with the whole thing.
Talk to me about the flame. How big was it?
Well, I think in the picture you can see that it's pretty high. It's over the tree line, and seems like it was a gas leak or something like that. So, yeah.
You didn't get right up on it, but you got close enough. Does it look like everybody probably made it out okay? And how scary was it?
Yeah, well, every fire, no fire is safe, right? So anyway, the houses and people around there seem to be taken care of, and the fire department, I think, made sure that everybody was safe. So I'd say the residents were fine, but it still, I guess, needs to be taken care of.
An hour later, we're still seeing the flames right there.
Yeah.
Does that make you a little nervous?
Not really, because I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. Of course, I'd like the residents and the neighbors are going to be fine, but I think they'll be taken care of by the fire department and police.
A lot of times we hear something that might have happened, maybe hear some popping or something. Did you hear anything to indicate there was a fire before you heard the sirens and stuff?
No, like I said, I just heard a whooshing sound. When it was strange. It sounded like there's water bursting out a pipe or something. So eventually I came out and I saw it was actually fire. Yeah.
And just even being out here, seeing the amount of response, you know, kudos to them to being able to bring the amount of response. Have you ever seen a response this big? And for those who aren't here, what does it look like?
Well, I'd say it's a great response, amazing response, fast response. The police are taking care of the streets and safety, and the fire department, there's a ton of fire trucks, and EMTs and other who are making sure that people are safe.
And you were able to get video of it. Did you ever think that you would see video like that in your phone?
Oh, no.
I mean, we're smiling about it with the hope that everybody's okay.
Correct.
But
correct.
I mean, you know, I think it probably maybe reminds you of a movie that you're looking at your phone now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So obviously I wasn't taking it for show or anything, but I was just interested, you know, just to see and capture an amazing event like this.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Appreciate that. God bless you.
Man, I'm glad you guys are safe, man. I'm gonna grab that.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
Thank you so much.
Looks like, you know, from that neighbor saying that those flames kind of over the tree line just a little bit. Thankfully, he said everyone looks like they are okay. But in that background, Carlene and James, I just want to note too, families walking around, people are escorting families right now. So definitely something that is definitely scary for people who can't get to their homes right now and are hoping that everything will be okay. Pierre showing us those flames. Yes, still going. Like he said, it's been an hour and we're still seeing active flames at this point. We got this started working this around 1:30, 1:35 is when we started hearing things that there might be a fire down in Matthews, and it is 1:22 right now. If you're just joining us right here on Live Impact News on the WCNC Charlotte app, we are monitoring a fire right now that is in Matthews. It's on Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive because of a major gas leak with explosion. We have Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Charlotte Fire Department, all on scene right now. Several people have been evacuated from their homes. They're asking people not to go back to their homes at this time. And Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive are blocked off right now. As we are looking at the scene, we are seeing several fire trucks. We're seeing Matthews Police. We're seeing gas trucks. So we are seeing a lot of people work this scene right now. Our Pierre is showing you live images, kind of getting a glance of where we are. So that's Pleasant Plains Baptist Church. That's right there. That's where traffic is being cut off right now. You see that neighbor that he did just interview, probably talking to family, friends, whoever. He said, thankfully, he is safe. His home is safe, but feels for the people in that area. Crews, he said, working really, really hard to put out this fire. This camera is going to continue to move around like this, guys. This is what happens when we're in live breaking news, is the camera is going to continue to move around as he is what's called getting B-roll for us, which will be used in later shows. But we're bringing to you this to you live right now. This is why you got to keep us on, because when these things break, we are always going to be there for you to show you the live action right here on Live Impact News. So keep it with us. The photo that you're seeing on the left-hand side is the photo of the flames that Matthews Police Department took a picture of earlier. So you can see, like that neighbor was saying, getting up to those tree lines, that those flames really, really heavy right now. And also to fire crews still working this fire to try to put it out. James, I'm going to have you come back in a little bit to tell us about that surrounding area. I'm asking James because he lives right in Matthews, so he's very familiar with this area. Homes are, you said, kind of close together, but there are some yards in between, so that is some good news.
Yeah, I mean, there's other parts of our area that would have acres upon acres upon acres of space between homes. This is not this. This is your typical suburban white picket fence neighborhood where you will have a family home, single family home, and then you'll probably have a yard around it. So I don't know, half acre, quarter acre, something of that size. So there is space in between these homes. Now, a couple things in these pictures that I've been watching from Pierre Simmons, our photographer on the scene. As you mentioned, Megan, we have at least 3 different fire departments on scene from 2 different counties. I also saw a vehicle that was labeled 811, which is the phone number you call before you dig. I don't know if they showed up before or after this incident showed up. I saw a state highway patrol individual there, but I also noticed an excavator which was moving about, and I'm wondering if that might have something to do with getting the gas turned off. The fact that Pierre is still showing us those flames through the trees right now.
It looked pretty high.
It's going to be very hot, and that was the story I was starting to tell before the interview. Is I went to a controlled simulated burn, and I was so surprised how hot the fire was for such a distance away. Because when I went to that lab, and I started to tell this story before we went to that last interview, we had set up cameras around a home that had been set up in a facility to burn on purpose to study how fires work. And we had to back up because we thought we were at a safe distance, but it got so hot that our phones were telling us like excessive heat, move back.
So you're saying Pierre's probably feeling heat right now?
I don't know if Pierre can feel it from where he is, but I will say if you're looking at these shots going, why is Pierre not on the other side of the street? Because then he would be way too close. Because not only is there the actual flame itself that you can see, but what we can't see is the heat that it's putting off for some undetermined amount of diameter around that source of that gas leak.
And as of course, we would love to get you right in the middle of the, I think the fire department always does a good job at keeping us at a safe distance. That's just for our own safety, especially for photographer Pierre's safety, because you don't want to be too close to this, especially when gas is involved too. Like we said, explosion happening. So we don't know if there could be more, or, I'm sure they're working to turn off that gas, or if they've already turned off that gas. I'm not quite sure yet. We do know that paramedics are on scene, but we have not heard if anybody's been injured. Right now, they're reporting that no one's been injured, which is great news. But those flames just really close to homes. And as people are being evacuated or probably not there or at work, you worry about animals inside or something like that, or just, their home in general. Looks like Pierre is going to get us another interview right now with another neighbor. Let's take a listen into this.
First question, what does it look like out here? Yeah, what does it look? What does all this look like? Hold on.
It's a lot of activity.
Hold on. I'm not I think I might have double tapped the button.
Okay, so he's just fixing his mic right now, so where you get some clear audio. Sometimes this happens in the field, double clicking the button. So I'm sure he sounds a lot better now for this interview. So let's see if he sounds okay.
What does it look like out here?
A lot of police, fire department activity. There's a lot of action going on out here right now as far as these guys working to get this fire or this gas line put out or fire put out.
And how does this fire look?
It's pretty intense. From here looking at it, yeah. It's pretty intense coming up out of the ground.
And what were you doing when everything happened?
When everything happened, I was getting ready to come up here to pick up the grandkids from school.
And to walk up here or come up here and see this?
Well, I got a little bit of a preview. My daughter was telling me about it, so I called her to see, have an idea what I need to look out for.
Yeah. Does it look like a movie to you?
Yeah, one in disaster film like deals, But yeah, it's.
Never seen that like this in person.
No. But I'm impressed with all the, the fire department and police, and it look like they got everything in control. You don't see anybody running around going crazy. It looks like, okay, they got a situation, they're doing their thing.
And last question, how tall would you say this is?
How tall?
How high up? For somebody down out here, how high up do you think this went?
It looked like to me a good 30 foot or better.
And last one, your name. That's it.
My name's Dave Morgan.
And spell it.
DAVID MORGAN.
Okay, and you're Stallings resident, Matthews resident?
I'm Matthews resident.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. He's definitely saying those flames are intense too. Actually got a call from his daughter talking about what was going on in the area. Matthew's resident there saying the flames look like they were 30 feet tall. So that is very tall. Taking a look right now at this picture once again as crews are responding to this fire in Matthews. This was from the Matthews Police Department. They sent this picture. So on Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive, that is where this fire is. We are still seeing lots of fire response there. You can see that they are working on electrical lines right now. James, do you know why they're trying to shut off power, or what do you think this is?
We had heard a report that a power line may have come down, and I would just be led to believe that if there was a power line on the ground, they would want to make sure it's not electrified.
Sure.
As the crews are moving about, but also as they might be spraying water in the area. I'm just thinking about all the times we've done storm coverage and we say, don't go near the water, there might be a power line in it. Well, same idea. If they're spraying water for a firefighting effort, but there might be active power in the area, they want to shut that down as well as shut down the gas line.
Yeah. That's a good point right there. So we are watching them work on those power lines right now.
We can holler out Duke as well to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe the Duke Energy outage map has updated to show us that the power is out on
Okay.
Morningwood.
Oh, yep, it is. Yep, the Duke Power Energy map. It says 49 people out of power right now. So, and that's all along Morningwood Drive. So, looks like they definitely did shut off that power. If you're just joining us again right now, I want to continue to update you guys of what we know so far on this fire. We do know that 3 departments are responding: Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire, a Charlotte Fire, because of that gas leak with an explosion that happened at the intersection of Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. Several houses have been evacuated in that area. Thankfully, there's no reports of injury at this time, but fire crews are saying please avoid this area. We are also seeing Piedmont Natural Gas on scene as well, as they are rolling up there. They've been there for a little while now, but seeing more vehicles come onto the scene. We're still seeing those flames in the backyard, but I can see that they
Seeing more
are
water.
spraying it.
Yeah.
Yep, the water is right there, but those flames are pretty high still. Several homes, like I said, evacuated, and everyone is asked to avoid that area. Like you heard from the man who we just interviewed, he said he got a call from his daughter. He was making sure everything was okay, but saying it is a very intense situation out there right now, but crews are handling this very well. He says they seem to have everything under control. So that is always some good welcome news there. As you can see, that fire department and Piedmont Natural Gas speaking over there. So it really is a joint, joint crew right now. And James, you were saying how when things like this happen, they're all kind of on the same page, right?
Yes. So we do know we have multiple agencies on scene. So we have Matthews Fire, which is in Mecklenburg County and is dispatched by Mecklenburg County dispatchers. We have Charlotte Fire Department on the scene, which is dispatched by City of Charlotte dispatchers. And we have crews from Wesley Chapel Fire Department in Union County. All 3 of them right now are operating off of a single consolidated radio frequency. And that allows them to move into each other's territory and all literally be on the same page because they can all talk to each other right now. So with Matthews in control, they're using a Matthews radio frequency to communicate with each other. So that allows the crews, whether they're all in one single command post or staged around the perimeter of the fire, to make sure they're on the same page with each other, which is a really key communication asset used during emergency situations like this.
They did say too, as far as on our end, we are supposed to be calling Matthews Fire for questions. So that's kind of the one overseeing the operations right now. I do want to point out, as we continue to see those flames, you will continue to see this camera moving around. Our photographer Pierre getting as many shots as he can of this active live scene right now. We have a reporter, Autumn Bracey, heading to Matthews to give us a live report, and we are waiting for her to get to that scene to kind of monitor this situation more for us as we are looking at what's going on along Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. Like I said, power out right now for 49 homes along Morningwood Drive. So lots of action happening in this neighborhood. These homes pretty close together. Carlene, can you bring up that map again?
Sure.
As we are looking at that, I just want to point out some other businesses that we are also seeing in that area. We have Pleasant Plains Baptist Church, which is on the far end, so not really close to this, which is some good news there. But we also have Davis Goldstein and Associates. We have Grace Academy. We have Peter's Auto Trim Shop, which is hopefully on the far side. So hopefully they're not affected. Club 7. And so, we have a lot of things in this area, overall area, I should say, that, some folks might be a little nervous about because definitely still seeing flames in that area. This call came in around 12:30 when we started hearing some chatter. Yep, there's that smoke. So this has been going on for about an hour. Hopefully, I'm not seeing, do you see, Pierre's kind of farther back, but I'm not seeing flames right now. We are seeing
There was
smoke.
flames dancing in looks like in between the like branches. Again, I can't tell how high they are because
Right.
I actually can't see like where the ground is
Right.
necessarily.
Well, I'll put two observations together. We're looking at white smoke right now, and a few
Yes.
moments ago, you guys mentioned seeing water. That's a distinct difference from what we saw an hour ago when we saw black smoke. Black smoke is fire that's burning without any water on it, but now they clearly have water on it, and that's what's turned the smoke over to the white coloring.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Like I said, people
We'll show what it looked like a little bit like
earlier. Yeah, that's
we kind of modified the colors on it. We don't have a hot pink water tower, but we modified the colors so that you could see the smoke plumes.
right.
Yeah, this video came from 10 miles away. This is our City of Monroe downtown camera that we zoomed in that 10 miles back towards Matthews, and we adjusted the colors so that you could see the contrast a little bit against the kind of the cloudier sky, but the smoke at the time was definitely black.
So we are continuing
there we go.
to watch this. Oh, yep, still seeing those flames.
James, I have a question.
Okay, I'll try.
So we've been talking about it, the drought for
Yep.
weeks. We've been talking about we're dry, dry, dry. We just got rain a little bit ago. Did it make any sort of dent
Yes.
in this? I mean, any
We're still in a
significant
drought.
dent?
Yeah, I was actually looking at the numbers before. So if the drought were to end right now, we would need an estimated about 13 inches of rain. So that's how far into the deficit we are when it comes to drought. Last week, we were about 15 inches in deficit. So yes, the rain over the past week, which brought us about 2 inches of rain, did help. And in the immediate aftermath, it does give the ground a little bit of a soaking.
Sure.
But overall, the situation is still that everything is extremely dry.
Absolutely.
And how are we looking for rain?
Not great.
Not great,
Not
right?
great.
Okay.
In working with Brad Panovich on his 6:30 live weather impact show each night here at 6:30, we were sitting in here yesterday when he was saying it's going to feel like summer this weekend. It's going to be sunny and near 90 with little rain in the forecast. The drought is only going to be getting worse.
Right.
Now, we don't have a burn ban anymore. We did lift the burn ban in both North Carolina and South Carolina after the recent rain because it gave us that little bit of buffer room by improving the soils and the vegetation and the such. But coincidentally,
we end up back there pretty quick.
we could end up back there pretty quick if things continue to be dry. Matthews Fire Department this morning on Facebook posted, hey, there's no burn ban, but reminder that in Mecklenburg County, you still need a permit to burn outdoors. Not fire pits and things, but like
Sure.
if you're going to burn
Right.
trash or something. And because they said that they had been responding to a lot of outside fire calls that they were still considering to be kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Again, that doesn't have anything to do with what seems to have happened here, which seems to be a utility problem.
Right.
But I think it paints the bigger picture that, yes, guys, things are very dry still out there.
I do want to mention, too, it's around 74 degrees outside right now. The heat can definitely play a role in this as far as crews fighting those fires. We were saying earlier how hot it can get, especially with these flames out there. So they are working very hard. If you're just joining us right now on Live Impact News on the WCNC Charlotte app, we have Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire, Charlotte Fire Department on scene. This is a gas leak with an explosion. This is what caused this fire at the intersection of Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. Like I said, several homes have been evacuated. No reports of injuries at this time, but we are seeing paramedics on the scene. We have our Pierre Simmons there. He's our photographer monitoring the situation. He spoke with a bunch of folks who live around that area. One was saying that it was definitely intense, but crews are handling this very well. Got a call from his daughter, pretty concerned. And then the other man was saying that, he feels pretty safe with these fire crews out here and is glad that there's no injuries at this time. So people are being advised not to go to that area, to avoid this area. We also know of outages right now, 49 without power, as we are assuming that they shut that power down as they continue to work this fire on Morningwood Drive. You can see that right there, all of those homes without power, as flames are still visible and water is going on these flames right now. Looks like in some backyards. So I'm sure a lot of people nervous, especially if they have homes in that area. Hopefully everybody is out and okay, especially pets. I'm thinking, people who heard about this when they were at work, probably very concerned about animals if they have that, or property in general. So we do have Piedmont Gas out there as well. James was saying earlier too that they are working on construction in that area, and you want to talk about that a little bit, James, how you've seen that construction?
Yeah, just to paint a picture about the general area, I can't say for sure what caused this gas line to rupture, other than we can see that there was that Pike utility truck really close to the epicenter of this fire. But this neighborhood is actually a pretty frequent cut-through street for drivers who are trying to traverse between the Matthews area of Mecklenburg County and the Stallings and Wesley Chapel area of Union County, because it links up Pleasant Plains Road and what is Old Monroe Road, also known as John Street, and it allows you to kind of bypass a traffic light or two if you take this side street. Now, those traffic flows have led engineers to start developing the McKee Road extension, which will link, again, Pleasant Plains with Old Monroe Road and actually connect two separate sections of McKee Road. I bring that up because we have seen in the area they've been removing trees, they've been working on power lines, kind of in the grand scheme of building out the infrastructure of this area. But again, this particular street is a residential neighborhood with single-family homes that are spaced apart on individual lots. Some of them are manufactured homes, some of them are larger homes, and I was just looking at the map. This is literally like the last street in Matthews before you enter into Union County and either Wesley Chapel or Stallings. Like, we're right on the
You see
line.
that Stallings town limit sign right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right above my head. That's the line that you cross over and kind of drive in and out. If you live on the state line between North Carolina and South Carolina, or the county line or a city line, you move across these areas socially all the time with very little impact. But for things like this, it matters who's got jurisdiction and who gets there first. So this is, if not the last street, one of the last streets in the Matthews Fire District.
We see several people walking, looks like, and I've seen several people walking around, some families walking around, can't go past where those fire crews are, but very concerning if your home is in that neighborhood along Morningwood Drive right now. Like I said, no injuries at this time, so that is good news. Paramedics are on scene, though, just in case, and we're told that people have been evacuated at this time. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break right now, but keep it right here on Live Impact News as we continue to cover this breaking news in Matthews. Watching live Impact News right here on the WCNC Charlotte app. We're continuing to follow breaking news. If you're just joining us, this is a live look at the scene right now in Matthews as 3 different fire crews are on scene of a gas leak with an explosion. We are seeing flames at this time. This is at the intersection of Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. Several homes have been evacuated in the area, but the good news is there's no reports of injuries at this time. We know paramedics are on scene, and people in this area are being told to not go near this area. Fire crews are Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Charlotte Fire Department, and Matthews Fire Department is taking lead right now. We know that there is a major gas leak. We also know that several homes are without power right now, assuming that power has been shut off. We do know that there are 49 homes without power. If you are taking a look at your screen, you can see that map right there, all of Morningwood Drive. Talking about these homes a little bit, we did see flames that Pierre is showing us. They were in the backyard. This is the backyard that I'm actually talking about as he just moved the camera there. You can still see smoke in that backyard, not seeing those massive flames that we did see earlier. And we did speak with a few neighbors who said that those flames were at the tree line 30 feet up. So massive flames in the area, but crews are still working to get a hold of this fire. We first got the call around 12:30 this afternoon is when we started hearing things pop off. And I just want to actually mention this before I continue, is that I can see some flames right in the left-hand corner. If you take a look at the left of your screen, seeing some flames pop up over there. But they've been fighting this fire for over an hour now, as 3 different crews are on scene. We also know Matthews police are on scene as well, as you're asked to avoid the area. Someone who knows a lot more about this area is our James Brierton, because he does live in Matthews, so he's very familiar with this area. He's been talking to us kind of about the general sense of the area, how close these homes are, how there was construction in the area. So James, I'm going to bring you on and kind of talk about that neighborhood a little bit more.
Yeah, so this is a residential neighborhood, again, in the greater Charlotte suburbs, and we're talking about single-family homes that are going to have at least some space in between them, yards, trees, and we've certainly seen trees in some of the shots that Pierre has been showing us. We're right here on the line between Mecklenburg County and Union County, so we're kind of on the border between a couple different townships. Matthews and Charlotte on the Mecklenburg side, Stallings and Wesley Chapel on the Union County side. We've been seeing in some of the pictures as well that they seem to be digging. There seems to be an excavator on scene. They're digging. I can only speculate that had to have something to do with the gas lines that we believe are fueling this fire, and crews are working on getting that under control. Megan, the other thought I had, and we've been talking about how this is a fire that was caused by a suspected gas leak, and that we've been using the word explosion. And that's the word that Matthews Fire used in their initial Facebook post as well, too. And that does make some sense to me, because I was in Ballantyne in 2019 when there was a home explosion caused by a gas leak. I was several blocks away, but I heard it and I felt it almost like you would suspect maybe like an earthquake would kind of feel like. You kind of just feel that sound reverberating. Now that was a much bigger gas leak that leveled an entire home. That is not what we're seeing today. This seems to be a smaller, more contained gas leak that is causing flames to shoot up. But as far as we can see, the rest of the neighborhood seems relatively untouched. But I still think residents in that area, if they couldn't see the fire or the source of that fire, if they were calling from a couple blocks away, I'm sure it sounded like an explosion, because it probably was that gas escaping out that pressurized pipe that it comes on down. So that descriptor and that word makes a lot of sense.
Y'all mentioned the digging. And if you see, Pierre's carrying his camera right now, so that's why he's kind of on its side.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy camera. You see all those dirt piles, clearly with shovels and everything. There's clearly active digging.
Yeah, there is active digging. We've seen that excavator on scene. And it does kind of speak back to the big picture, which is that, I drive this area probably a couple times a week, not daily, but a couple times a week. And I have frequently seen crews in the area doing work as they've been doing some infrastructure development around the area. Now, what's interesting also is I think Pierre has just crossed over from Mecklenburg into Union County.
Yep, right.
Or there's abouts. And I think he might be getting a little bit of a closer vantage point. I think he's walking closer to the scene.
I saw us take the camera off the tripod, put it on his back. He's lugging a lot of equipment, so that's why it's kind of moving and looking like this. But he's trying to get a better shot for us.
Right.
But in the meantime, here's a picture from Matthews. This is Matthews' fire earlier. This is one of the first photos we got into our newsroom.
And we were just pointing out too earlier how close those flames were to those mailboxes. So assuming that homes are pretty close by. I do want to show, if we can go back to Pierre's shot. I know you guys said this is kind of annoying if it's on the side for you, but this is breaking news. This is what happens. I just wanted to point out how many fire trucks are just lined up along this street. Pierre trying to get as close as he can while still trying to be safe. You can see he's still keeping the camera on for us, and looks like he's at a bush right now. But he is still keeping the camera on for us. Autumn Bracey, our reporter, is also heading on down to that scene as well to try to get some more interviews for us. Pierre was able to speak with two neighbors, definitely describing the scene for us, saying that those flames were very large, hitting the top of the tree line, 30 feet tall, saying that, it was kind of a scary situation at first, but they also said that they feel comfortable because of the fire crews and the response and how calm they are. So that is also very nice. Like I said, 3 separate crews responding to this. Matthews Fire Department, we have Wesley Chapel, and we have Charlotte. Matthews is taking the lead on this. James is kind of describing how they all get on one frequency for a radio, so they know what's going on and can communicate, which is always good news there. So we are definitely continuing to watch this, as this is a major breaking news story with several homes, really being affected because of this gas leak. Gas leaks can be very, very scary at this time, especially with the drought conditions, I should say. It's been very, very dry out there. Warning of, not to go too far with outdoor flames. Obviously, we're not in a burn ban anymore, but you still need a permit to be able to do this. James,
these are some of the best pictures we've gotten from Pierre. He is now standing on the front lawn of the Leaf Springs School at Matthews, which is at the corner of Pleasant Plains Road, and allows him to look straight down Morningwood Drive.
Yes.
So now we can see, again, there's one of those dirt piles that we know they were working on, but that fire is still being fueled by natural gas.
Wow.
And you can see the excavator here in the foreground as they're working, I presume, to get down to that gas line to turn it off.
Right.
But we do have a ladder truck off to the right, and they're using that, I presume, to spray water. I don't know how you extinguish a gas line fire, but I imagine what you're trying to do is at least contain it to that one spot and not to the bush that's right next to it.
And you can see those fire crews are around it right there. This fire pretty hot, I'm assuming.
I have to imagine, like you said before, this has to be boiling where they're at.
Again, I can only draw back on my experience going to a science lab in the Carolinas here, IBHS, where they set a home on fire and we're doing a wildfire experiment. And that got so much hotter than I anticipated getting, and we were kept back at a perimeter, and we all had to back up further. And you can kind of see there are people standing near this, and that probably gives us a rough idea of where the most comfortable place to stand is and no further.
But and also too, I want to point out that this fire is just it just keeps flaming, it just keeps going and going and going. And you can definitely tell that's because of gas. And I do want to point out too that the flames are hitting not the top of the trees, but pretty much almost to the top of the trees.
Very dry trees, because we're in a drought still.
And I just also too want to again point out the amount of response that is here. You can see all of those fire crews working. Like James was saying, we have that ladder truck spraying water right now, and we do continue to see the digging work right now to stop that gas. So there are a lot of elements to this breaking news scene right now as fire crews do work to put this out. Once again, people are being asked to avoid this area as crews work to get these flames out. Definitely close to a lot of different homes. We can see that water and how powerful it is as they are doing, trying to get it out as quickly as they can. So lots of water being used. We do have some restrictions going on as well, but this is the water that needs to be used right now, and because it is so dry out there and that fire is just continuing. So we are continuing to watch this. We have Autumn Bracey, our reporter, heading on down to Matthews right now. So hoping to see her soon to give us a better information about what's going on at the scene, as we have Pierre, who is working hard right now to get all of these live pictures for us right here on the WCNC Charlotte app. He is doing a wonderful job. He spoke with 2 neighbors in the area, explaining these flames, explaining what they've seen. Definitely nerve-wracking for a lot of people out there. And then this is what is this?
The medic mass casualty bus that they're going to probably be using for rehab. That is not to insinuate that we have mass casualty injuries. This vehicle, just purely because of its size, acts kind of as an air-conditioned room, a place for refreshments, because they're going to be swapping crews in and out.
Sure. Right.
And so this kind of acts as a place where they can go and get rehab, and just water, cool down, sit down, and that's what they're going to use that for.
And like I said before, we've been told that there are no injuries at this time, so that is some good news there. And we also know that paramedics are on scene too, probably to also monitor firefighters as well, if they are getting overheated or anything like that. They are there on scene, which is some good news. You can see some people too watching. And you just really hope that their home isn't close to there, because this is very scary. As I can't even imagine if all these fire crews ended up in my neighborhood and I could clearly see flames. Right. So definitely scary situation for some folks. I'm sure some folks too are at work right now trying to get home after hearing this news to make sure that their property isn't affected by this. You wonder about animals and dogs, cats, anything of that nature. So definitely a scary scene. But like I said, we do know that power is off right now, because I did want to point out how close that was. Pierre is moving his shot right now. So we're going to take a look at that. Power outages, 49 without power. Flames pretty close to those power lines, so definitely needed to turn off power for this. James was also pointing out too, you don't want water on lines that might...
On power lines?
Power lines.
Yeah, we had heard that there could have been a down power line, and I don't know the validity of that, other than we did see crews up on the pole. So hypothetically, if there was a down power line, if you're then spraying water on the scene, you don't want to electrify all of that water that is now pooling on the ground. So that's why they would want to turn off power. That's obviously why they're going to want to turn off the gas to kill kind of the source of this fire. I'll also just say, looking at these live pictures with you, Megan, I was taking some relief and some comfort in how close everyone was standing, because if I can read the body language on that, they are feeling safe enough that the firefighting effort is happening almost right at the scene of the fire.
Sure.
Again, we did see what we presume to be residents or onlookers with Pierre at the end of the street. I'm drawing contrast to that to other situations we've seen where they will make a bigger perimeter if they think that's necessary. And the fact that they're firefighting this from right there tells me that the source of the fire seems pretty contained to that one spot.
Right. And the fact that our Pierre could get a little closer too, because when we first started this stream around 1 o'clock, he was farther back from the road.
This is obviously when he first got there, to give some perspective.
And obviously for his own safety, I'm sure they were trying to keep a lot of people back anyways. So he was able to get closer now. His shot is
black
right now, as he is probably trying to set up. Hopefully,
I hear him, like he's clearly moving around. He's trying to get,
okay. Like I said, our reporter Autumn Autumn Bracey is on the way there right now to hopefully give us a live report. But we're going to take a quick 2-minute break right here, but keep it right here on Live Impact News on our WCNC Charlotte app as we continue to follow this breaking news in Matthews. You're watching Live Impact News right here on the WCNC Charlotte app. We do continue to follow breaking news in Matthews as a large fire is continuing because of a gas leak. Crews do tell us that it happened, a gas leak and then an explosion. We know that 3 fire crews are on scene. Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, and Charlotte Fire Department. At this time, we are told that there are no reports of injuries and people are avoiding that area on Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. We do have fire chief, or looks like fire crews, about to answer some questions to the media. So let's take a listen in.
You good? You need to get in? Okay.
All company. The rehab units are on scene, so rotate through them as needed.
Okay. I'm Rob Kinneberg, R-O-B, K-I-N-N-I-B-U-R-G-H. I'm the fire chief here in Matthews. At about 11:55, Matthews and at the same time Charlotte Fire got a report of a gas leak here on Morningwood Drive. Units from both departments responded separately. We were not aware that they were both on the same call. We did get aware while the event was going on as we all arrived, so we've been working collectively since we got here. Units from Matthews arrived to find an active gas leak in an 8-inch natural gas main. Crews from Pike Electric were on scene setting poles. They were drilling to set the pole. We can only assume that the auger hit the natural gas line. Our crew from Matthews made it to the hole, investigated the leak, and then we're going back to the truck to form a game plan when the gas leak ignited. They were not injured. They were back at the truck some distance away. We immediately upgraded the call from both Charlotte and Matthews to include responses from the Charlotte Fire Department Hazmat Team, Stallings Fire Department, Hemby Bridge Fire Department, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Baker's Fire Department, Medic, Matthews PD, Stallings PD, and of course Piedmont and Duke and Pike have representatives on the scene. Right now, some 2 hours in, we have controlled the gas flow from one direction. Piedmont was able to shut off a gas valve at John Street. They are currently working to locate the gas main and clamp it on Pleasant Plains. Power has been shut off between Pleasant Plains and John Street, and will be for some time. There have been no injuries. There was no one home at the 2 houses most affected by the fire. We did search those, forced entry and search those homes, but no one was there. We've had some firefighters a little overcome by heat, but they are fine. Medic is on the scene. They have treated no civilians. No one's been transported. We have emergency management from Mecklenburg County here. Charlotte has brought their rehab truck because we will be on the scene for quite a while. We have representatives from the Fire Marshal's Office, Emergency Management. We have quite a contingent here on the county line between Matthews, or Mecklenburg County, and Union, Matthews and Stallings. What can I answer for you at this point?
You said there were some crews that were here when this happened.
Yes.
How much worse could this have been? You sort of look back on it.
It could have been quite a bit worse. Our crew from Engine 12 made it to the hole. They surveyed the problem and then they went back to the truck. But our practice is to wear full turnout gear, breathing apparatus whenever they approach the hole. We were close.
How are you feeling right now, Chief?
We're kind of in a watch and wait position. We're waiting for Piedmont to turn off the gas. Once the gas is off, it's basically a mop-up operation. The onus will be on Piedmont, Pike, and Duke to restore services in the coming days.
Have you been given a timeline for maybe when the fire will actually?
They're working on it currently.
Is there any danger to any of the homes or people around here right now?
No. All the gas that is coming from the line is being consumed in the fire. So we're not worried about gas intrusion into residents. Everyone's house on the other side of the street, we've got multiple water supplies protecting the exposures. We did have 2 houses that suffered significant damage. Those are the 2 closest to the hole.
So is everybody on this block evacuated, or just staying?
They're staying back away from the incident scene.
What is the strategy for a fire like this?
Protect exposures till you can turn off the gas supply. If we were to try to extinguish the gas fire, then we would have an explosive gas migrating wherever it wanted to go.
So it's putting water around where that fire is?
Protecting exposures.
For incidents like this, what are maybe precautions residents need to take like after this?
Well, all of their natural gas appliances are going to have to be relit. So if they have a gas hot water heater, gas heat, gas fireplace, all that's going to have to be relit unless it has an autopilot to relight itself. Again, all the gas that's being leaked at this point is being consumed by the fire. So we're not worried about gas in people's homes.
And it was Piedmont that was originally drilling, you said?
Pike,
Pike.
contractor for Duke Power.
What level of fire is it?
We don't really have alarm levels for stuff like this, but we probably have 100 firefighters here on probably 15 frontline apparatus and tankers, and then we have an army of support staff who is also assisting us.
No schools affected that are near here or anything like that?
No, as far as we know, there's no school buses that normally come through this route. We haven't heard of any problems. There's a charter school just down the street, and there's a nursery just across Pleasant Plains. We know parents have been able to get to those children.
To ensure the safety of people in this area beyond when this is finished, do you all check periodically?
Before we leave, we will make sure everything's safe. We will turn it over to Piedmont and Pike. That will be their responsibility, but we will make sure that it's safe before we leave.
Any guesstimate of how long we'll be out here?
I thought we had a sign that we were making progress, but it's back. Again, it could be 5 minutes, it could be a couple hours, depends on how Piedmont can do. An 8-inch gas line is a large transmission main, and their tactic at this point is to try to dig down to the main and apply hydraulic presses, 2 hydraulic presses, to pinch that pipe closed. So once they've got that pipe pinched, it should use up all the gas that still remains in the pipe. Their problem then would be, how are they going to go about replacing that section of pipe?
Next couple hours, sit there and stare at it.
Right now, that's our goal.
Think we'll need more hands on deck?
We've got rehab services here from the Charlotte Fire Department and from EM, so we're rotating crews through where we have to man hand lines, but for right now everything's either aerial or ground mounted monitors, so we've pulled back our presence. I have people from Piedmont, I had people from Piedmont, Duke, Pike. If you would like to talk to them, I can try to get them here.
That would be great.
Okay. Stand by.
Thank you.
Still seeing flames in that area. You did hear from the Matthews fire chief. I just want to kind of go through what he was saying to media as he was talking. 2 homes were suffering not injuries, but suffered from this fire. We do know that no one was injured, but we do have some fire crews that were overheated. Medic is on scene though, so they were taken care of. Matthews, Charlotte, Wesley fire departments on scene right now. No threat to the general community as they continue to try to put out these flames. But what happened was power crews did strike a line or gas pipe that they were putting in, and they were trying to put in poles. This is Pike for Duke Energy trying to put in poles right there, and then they hit that gas line. What fire crews were saying though is they cannot locate the leak right now. They need to have that shut, and that's what's kind of fueling this fire right now is the gas from that leak. We are told though that no homes are going to be affected from this gas, because right now what's happening is the fire is taking all of that gas and just fueling it even more. So that is what we know so far. Like I said, no reported injuries, some good news there, and people are still being told to avoid this area. They did say that they were going to be there for quite some time as they work to get out these flames, and then of course the cleanup afterwards. So but 2 homes did suffer a lot of damage as they were saying. So families going to have to figure out what to do next. I'm sure Red Cross will be on standby to help those families with what they need. Like I said, very hot out there, so lots of dry bushes, dry trees, lots of dry stuff. Brittany Van Voorhees is in here right now. Brittany, we've been talking about this since 12:30 is when we got this, really the call into the newsroom. We've been checking on these flames still going right now, and it is 2:16. Lots of smoke, flames, and lots of dryness. What can you tell us about these drought conditions and how this is fueling fire here?
Well, the good news is that it actually probably is a lesser risk than if this had happened a few weeks ago. Fire danger is like a short-term problem. So think what the weather is today, right? If it's sunny and 76, I actually don't know what the temperature is right now, but sunny and 76, right? That is the weather that is today. But for example, we've been extremely dry over the past few months. That's the drought. That's more of a climate impact. So fire danger, thankfully, can be squashed by recent rainfall. And so the fire danger actually today and really over the last few days has been lower. And when we say fire danger, that's essentially the risk that if a fire were to spark, that it could spread. So across the Carolinas right now, and really most of our area, it's moderate. That is essentially a level 2 out of a level 5. We're normally at moderate or low, just depending on the weather conditions. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is we know is that the drought is still present. We still need about 15 or so inches of rain in 1 month to get rid of it, but at least in the near term, because the fire danger is lower, that means a lesser risk that it would spread. And I know that for families being impacted by this doesn't feel like a good thing, but I was actually comparing some of the data from the South Park fire that we had in Charlotte a few years ago, just to kind of see, why South Park was able to be seen on radar versus this one. And it seems like the fire needs to be hot enough to develop those pyrocumulus clouds to reach about 10,000 feet up in the air to get any kind of radar signature. So the fact that it doesn't look as impressive as it did a few hours ago on our cameras, and the fact that it hasn't reached that height, that at least means that it's not necessarily as severe, which I didn't expect it to be since the South Park fire was a 5-alarm fire. But for folks who maybe went through that or lived by that in South Park, just know that this is not to that magnitude. And I think that's something that, at least again, when you're looking for the good in something negative like that, we're at least glad that it's not widespread. And as you mentioned, Meg, that there haven't been any injuries or any fatalities or things like that reported. So again, trying to look at the good, but yes, at least from the weather front, the recent rainfall we had last week, 2 inches of rain, has at least temporarily squashed the near-term fire danger, even though we certainly need more rain to help with the drought.
Right, definitely need that more rain. We did just get a statement too that I want to show you guys. This is from Piedmont Natural Gas right here. They said Piedmont Natural Gas is on scene of a damaged natural gas line and fire near Morningwood Drive in Matthews. Piedmont crews are on site, like we've been seeing them, and are working with emergency responders to secure the scene and turn off the flow of gas. The safety and well-being of people in the community are Piedmont's top priority. A contractor working the area struck and damaged the natural gas main while digging. No injuries related to this incident have been reported. Once the scene has been made safe, Piedmont will assist the fire department and other agencies investigating this matter. Like we were saying, contractor did working on this, like you heard from the fire chief, struck and damaged that natural gas line. Right now, what they're doing is they're trying to find where that gas leak is so they can get this under control, because like you heard the fire chief say, this gas is feeding those flames. We're still seeing lots of flames right now as we're taking a live look from that ladder hose right there, trying to put those flames out. But we're still seeing very active flames in that area. Like I said, Morningwood Drive right in Matthews, in that Stallings area. So right on the line there. But we've seen several fire crews there. We know that Matthews is responding. Charlotte is responding. Wellesley Chapel is responding. So we have fire crews on scene. No one's been injured. We've had several firefighters, though, fighting the heat and needing, to cool down a little bit. But we do have paramedics there. So that is some good news. Just look at that water right there. Oh, my goodness. It looks like it even sprayed, hit that, what's it called? That windshield, I should say, pretty hard and breaking it as well. Those flames still going on Morningwood Drive right now.
I think now that we've heard from the police chief and we've read that statement from Piedmont, it does explain why these pike trucks are so close to the source of that gas leak and that fire, because they were right there when the leak occurred. I think they were saying they were installing those power poles.
And, we did see them at first in that picture that we first showed you, and we're like, oh, we wonder why they're there. And that is why, is because that is where that originally happened. So we are keeping an eye on this, of course. We're hearing from some neighbors too. Our photographer Pierre spoke to 2 neighbors in the area, saying that these flames were absolutely incredible, heading really over the top of the trees there, saying it was incredible. One neighbor telling us that his daughter called him concerned, and that's when he ran over to see what was going on in his own neighborhood. Neighbors still not able to go back to their homes as they are being evacuated at this time. We also know Matthews police are not allowing anyone in and out of that area. So if you do need to get to where you want to be, you really want to avoid this area because they're not letting anyone in. That's along Morningwood Drive right there. We do know that power is also turned off, and that is affecting 49 homes at this time. So they don't have any power, no injuries, medic on scene, and fire is consuming all that gas, like I said, and utility crews are still working to get that gas turned off. But the good thing that the fire chief did say is that if the gas goes into homes, it's not going to affect anybody, because the gas essentially isn't going into the homes because it's feeding that fire right now. So he's saying that the gas is just going straight to those flames, feeding that fire, and that's why it's taking him so long to get it out, because the gas is not turned off at this time. I do want to talk about that area a little bit, James, because you know that area. You live in Matthews, so talk to me about this neighborhood. We're seeing homes a little close together, but there are some bigger yards, I should say.
This is a suburban neighborhood in the greater Charlotte area, and now that we have the ground pictures from Pierre, it's a little bit easier to kind of paint that picture. So these homes are all going to be on individual lots with space in between them. They're not going to be like the homes you see immediately outside of uptown Charlotte, where they're either sharing a wall or really close together. You can see there are some manufactured homes. There are some other structures in this area too. Lots of older trees as well. So this area does have a good amount of vegetation. I've also noticed when I drive through this area, that tank right there in front of the shot between Pierre and the fire, I'm going to check in a moment. I feel like I've looked it up in the past to see exactly whose utility tank that is. But that has been an item that I've spotted before when you drive through this area. Again, let me put a map on the screen that kind of shows, this is the Duke Energy power outage map, but that blue area that's outlined is where they have turned off power to the 50 some odd residents here along Morningwood Drive. But also kind of paints a picture. Pierre is on the south side of that blue area. He's along Pleasant Plains Road. There's a Leaf Springs nursery there, kind of daycare daycare facility. The fire chief alluded to it. That's essentially where our photographer is standing. So he's looking kind of back north down Morningwood Drive. And so this neighborhood is sandwiched between Old Monroe Road, which locals might also know as John Street, and Pleasant Plains Road. This is one of the very last streets in Matthews, Megan, before you transfer over to Union County.
Okay. And like we can see a lot of smoke now, not seeing those flames.
So I just noticed that the flames have disappeared.
Yep.
And they've also just called the fire under control.
Oh, good. That's great news to hear. It's interesting too, James, that this looks like they turned off that water as well.
Yeah, so it seems like they've probably managed to get that gas line capped.
Okay, good.
Since the fire was being fueled by that leaking gas line.
I just want to also note too, I mean, that water was going right on that truck.
Yeah, so I think they were probably, and I'm not a firefighter, but I think they're probably trying to think about metal expands when it's hot and the truck's made of metal. Presumably that truck has gasoline in it.
True.
I don't know what powers the hydraulics of that arm, but again, that was a Pike utility truck. They're a contractor for Duke Energy, and the police, the fire chief telling us that they were doing some utility work, installing poles in the area. I don't know what broke the windshield. That may have been the pressure from the water.
I'm assuming, right? And you can see too in the distance that there is some water still going on that area from hose, I'm guessing, on the ground, but that ladder hose is off right now, so that is good news. This is the first time since 12:40 that we haven't seen flames. I mean, we have been watching this since 12:30. We got the call. We first started seeing flames around 12:40. So it's been several hours since this fire has been going on. And like we've been saying, this gas really fueling those flames. But crews doing a great job getting there, getting to work. No injuries is what's really important. Unfortunately, though, 2 homes did suffer some damage from that. They said extensive damage. That's according to the fire chief. 3 fire crews did show up, though, and I'm sure that definitely helped. I thought it was interesting, too. You know, we're like, oh, they're all on the same page, but 2 of them got the calls, right? So I think it was Charlotte and Matthews.
You and I had been discussing earlier on in our coverage, Megan, how all these different fire departments from different towns and different counties were all converging onto one frequency, and I think they did do it fairly quickly based on just kind of listening. But you're right, the fire chief actually acknowledged that there was some confusion initially as different 911 centers were getting the same call from different people because we are literally on that line, again, not only between towns but between counties.
And I'm sure, you know, obviously when it is so close to that county line, it's going to be confusing because one person's on, you know, one side of the street, the other person's on the other side of the street. So we can see that ladder coming on down right now, which is good news. We're also seeing Medic there. Medic was really there to help out with the firefighters because of this extensive heat. Like James was saying, when he was at that demonstration of a fire, it gets really, really hot there. And we are seeing not high temperatures today, but, you know, warmer temperatures. So crews overheating a little bit, but they are okay. And like I said, no injuries from anybody else. So that is always good news. Our Pierre has been a pro at getting these shots today. You've seen the camera moving around, and that's because he is getting what's called B-roll for us, so we can show you in the later shows. And of course, right here on our WCNC Charlotte app.
I just checked. Those water tanks appear to be part of the water supply system. These tanks in front, so they don't appear to be related to the gas lines.
Gas lines.
They come through the same neighborhood, but because they're in the foreground of the shot, I wanted to acknowledge them.
We are seeing some smoldering spots right now. I'm sure fire crews are going to continue to work hot spots, as we like to call them, to make sure that everything is okay and fire doesn't start up again, like we've been saying. And Brittany is here saying it's been very dry out because of this drought. So those trees going up pretty fast because of how dry everything is in that area. Lots of crews still on scene. You heard the fire chief earlier saying that it's going to take several hours to clean up this area just because of the extent of these flames and the damage, and make sure that all that gas is off, that everything is secure. But fire crews doing a wonderful job getting this fire out, making sure that everybody is okay. Only really extending to 2 homes with that severe damage. So that is some good news. It could have really, really gone bad here we're going to take a quick break right here on Live Impact News, but keep it on WCNC Charlotte's app so we can continue to update you on this breaking coverage.
When news breaks across the Carolinas, we don't wait. This is Live Impact News on WCNC Charlotte. Live coverage.
CMS is going to have an emergency school board meeting.
Real-time updates.
These storms have the potential to produce a tornado.
The stories impacting you as they happen. From breaking news to developing stories to moments that can't wait for the next newscast.
Protests happening right now in our nation's capital.
Live Impact News on WCNC Charlotte. Watch now. Stream free.
Welcome back to Live Impact News right here on our WCNC Charlotte app. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've been joining us or if you're just joining in, we've been monitoring a fire in Matthews for about 2 hours right now, finally under control. But this is video that you're seeing from before of those flames because of a gas leak along Morningwood Drive in Matthews in the Stalling area. So we are watching this and right now you can see fire crews are wrapping up here, hearing from the fire chief earlier. We're going to replay you that sound so you are caught up to speed. I want to give you a couple notes though. Luckily, no one has been injured. We have 2 homes that suffered from damages, and we have 49 people right now without power as they cut that power off. How this all started was because Pike was putting in poles for Duke Energy and hit a gas line. That gas line exploding, causing gas to come out, and then that fire started up and we saw lots of flames. Neighbors saying they saw flames hitting the top of tree lines. So very concerning for some neighbors, but we had 3 different units come and crews come and respond to this fire. We had Matthews Fire, Charlotte Fire, and Wesley Chapel Fire. So doing a great job. Medic is out there. They did treat some firefighters for heat exhaustion. Other than that though, everybody doing okay right now. Live look right now. After 2 hours, they did knock down this gas leak. that is shut off, still getting those hot spots. So I really want to bring in our Brittany Van Voorhees, our meteorologist right now. We've been talking about fire dangers, about the drought and how this has all impacted everything. Not necessarily because of the drought, Brittany, like you were explaining to me during our commercial break, but really what the fire danger is right now. Do you want to talk about the fire danger in general?
Yeah, so let's talk about how drought is kind of like an over-encompassing thing, right? So if you were talking about today's short-term weather, that is the fact that it's sunny right now and it's in the 70s. But the climate would be, let's say we've been warmer than average over the last 3 weeks or the last 3 months, however you want to play it. So we talk short-term and long-term. Drought is a long-term problem. So we essentially haven't seen above average rainfall since August. The ground is very dry. The crops that we do grow in the Carolinas need more water. That's how that national U.S. Drought Monitor is developed, right? It looks at the time of year, the soil moisture, aquifers, reservoirs, all those things. So the drought overall can make fire danger worse, but it's also about what's happening short term. So for example, right now, if you look at the drought monitor, we know that we're in extreme drought conditions overall, but dry brush and fuel is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to fire danger. Now, if we were having the dry brush and fuel, which is from the drought, and also low humidity, and also gusty winds, right, because those are weather conditions, then yeah, we would be in an elevated risk. But because we just have one, we're essentially only having one piece of the puzzle. So drought, yes, can make fire danger worse, but it's more of a short-term problem than a long-term problem. For example, right now, Meg, the entire 22 counties that we have locally are under a moderate fire danger risk. That's normally where they are. It's very, very rare that I've seen us in a low, which is the one shaded in green. So for example, if tomorrow we had this same fire in Matthews, but then had, let's say, wind gusts near 35 miles an hour and extremely low humidity, the same fire danger could be very high to extreme. So those kind of fluctuate more so based on the short-term weather conditions. We know in general the drought is still present, but the other two pieces of the puzzle will only ebb and flow with the short-term weather conditions. So hopefully that makes sense. And the reason why that is short-term weather condition-wise is essentially because gusty winds we know can spread fires, and then dry air mixed with the dry fuel and the dry brush that we already have because of the drought can enhance the chance that a fire develops in the first place. Kind of one of the reasons why during a drought or during elevated fire danger, we talk about, not pulling your car off to the side of the road because it's not their muffler. James, you're a guy. What's the word? Sorry. I don't know.
Cadillac.
What's the word? Oh, carburetor. It's
Carburetor.
carburetor. I knew it started with a C. Can actually spark a fire if it gets too close to some of that dry brush, or like if your muffler is hanging down if it's damaged. And I say it all the time, and then I'll get messages from people that they're like, what? No, people don't smoke in their car, whatever, but it flicks cigarettes like out of a car or something that can spark it. I know that in general, I feel like society wise, like tobacco isn't as used as much as it used to be, but that is still a big issue. And we still see about 90% of fires that happen in the Carolinas actually started by humans. Most of them are accidents, but it just shows you that we think because we don't do it that it won't happen, but that is still a big cause. So it's just thinking about the short-term things. Obviously, we're not sure, as far as I know from your reporting, exactly what we know what happened, obviously, in this case, but exactly why it happened and I guess the nitty-gritty details. But we know it definitely wasn't caused by somebody's carburetor.
No.
So again, it just kind of shows fire danger, short-term issue, drought, long-term issue. So we're just grateful that we've had recent rainfall because at least right now it is lowering that risk.
Yeah, and especially too when gas is out there, it's very easy to pick up on something, right? So
especially with people being out there.
Right, exactly. And yeah, I think Brittany, you make such a good point, is just to be careful, right? With all of this, we know it's been very dry, and we aren't in a burn ban anymore, which is good. But I would think before you do throw your cigarette butt out the car. You're not supposed to do that. So
yeah. Oh, no matter what day it is.
No
but again,
matter what
when
day.
you use those examples, sometimes people are like, well, nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like,
some people do. Yeah, it happens. It still happens. Brittany, we really love your expertise, so we really appreciate you. If you're just joining us here on Live Impact News, we've been covering this fire for about 2 hours. And guys, that's why I really want to say it is so important to stick with us on our WCNC Charlotte app, because these things happen. We have breaking news all the time in Charlotte, and we will continue to bring it to you first and live and explain everything that's going on right when we get it, so you can get get it at the same time. This is a great point and access for you to have because, when it's happening in our newsroom, we're right here with you, telling you what's happening as we're learning it as well. So you guys get a front seat of what's going on in your community. And that's why you always got to keep us on and watching because these things happen. Thankfully, no one was injured in this fire, in this gas leak explosion. But we are still monitoring the situation as they are looking for hotspots. This is video from earlier today where we did see so many flames up in the trees. Like we were saying, dry outside very much still. So, and lots of crews still on scene to do cleanup. We're going to take a quick break right here on Live Impact News. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News right here on our WCNC Charlotte app. We're going to take you live right now to that breaking news we've been telling you about for 2 hours. If you're just joining us, a gas-fueled fire is now under control. This happened at Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive in Matthews. It was shut down. It is still shut down, I should say, as crews are working to clean up this mess. Here's what we know so far. Around 12:30, or I should say 11:50 is what the police or the fire chief was telling us, is that this fire was started because of a gas leak. We also know that there are no injuries. There were some fire crews that did have some heat exhaustion, but they were treated and are okay. Paramedic is on scene right now. And we also know that 2 homes are severely damaged. We're going to send you on over to what the fire chief of Matthews said earlier about this fire, how it started, and what caused it. So let's take a listen in.
I'm Rob Kinneberg, ROB-KINNIBURGH. I'm the fire chief here in Matthews. At 55, Matthews, and at the same time Charlotte Fire got a report of a gas leak here on Morningwood Drive. Units from both departments responded separately. We were not aware that they were both on the same call. We did get aware while the event was going on as we all arrived, so we've been working collectively since we got here. Units from Matthews arrived to find an active gas leak in an 8-inch natural gas main. Crews from Pike Electric were on scene setting poles. They were drilling to set the pole. We can only assume that the auger hit the natural gas line. Our crew from Matthews made it to the hole, investigated the leak, and then we're going back to the truck to form a game plan when the gas leak ignited. They were not injured. They were back at the truck some distance away. We immediately upgraded the call from both Charlotte and Matthews to include responses from the Charlotte Fire Department hazmat team, Stallings Fire Department, Hemby Bridge Fire Department, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Baker's Fire Department, Medic, Matthews PD, Stallings PD, and of course Piedmont and Duke and Pike have representatives on the scene. Right now, some 2 hours in, we have controlled the gas flow from one direction. Piedmont was able to shut off a gas valve at John Street. They are currently working to locate the gas main and clamp it on Pleasant Plains. Power has been shut off between Pleasant Plains and John Street. It will be for some time. There have been no injuries. There was no one home at the two houses most affected by the fire. We did search those, forced entry and search those homes, but no one was there. We've had some firefighters a little overcome by heat, but they are fine. Medic is on the scene. They have treated no civilians. No one's been transported. We have emergency management from Mecklenburg County here. Charlotte has brought their rehab truck because we will be on the scene for quite a while. We have representatives from the Fire Marshal's Office, Emergency Management. We have quite a contingent here on the county line between Matthews, or Mecklenburg County, and Union, Matthews and Stallings. What can I answer for you at this point?
You said there were some crews that were here when this happened.
Yes.
How much worse could this have been? You sort of look back on it.
It could have been quite a bit worse. Our crew from Engine 12 made it to the hole. They surveyed the problem and then they went back to the truck. But our practice is to wear full turnout gear, breathing apparatus whenever they approach the hole. We were close.
How are you feeling right now, Chief?
We're kind of in a watch and wait position. We're waiting for Piedmont to turn off the gas. Once the gas is off, it's basically a mop-up operation. The onus will be on Piedmont, Pike, and Duke to restore services in the coming days.
Have you been given a timeline for maybe when the fire will actually...
They're working on it currently.
Is there any danger to any of the homes or people around here right now?
No. All the gas that is coming from the line is being consumed in the fire. So we're not worried about gas intrusion into residents. Everyone's house on the other side of the street, we've got multiple water supplies protecting the exposures. We did have two houses that suffered significant damage. Those are the two closest to the hole.
So is everybody on this block evacuated or staying?
They're staying back away from the incident scene.
What is the strategy for a fire like this?
Protect exposures till you can turn off the gas supply. If we were to try to extinguish the gas fire, then we would have an explosive gas migrating wherever it wanted to go.
So it's putting water around where that fire is?
Protecting exposures.
For incidents like this, what are maybe precautions residents need to take like after this?
Well, all of their natural gas appliances are going to have to be relit. So if they have a gas hot water heater, gas heat, gas fireplace, all that's going to have to be relit unless it has an autopilot to relight itself. again, all the gas that's being leaked at this point is being consumed by the fire. So we're not worried about gas in people's homes.
And it was Piedmont that was originally drilling, you said?
Pike,
Pike.
contractor for Duke Power.
What level of fire is it?
We don't really have alarm levels for stuff like this, but we probably have 100 firefighters here on probably 15 frontline apparatus and tankers, and then we have an army of support staff who is also assisting us.
No schools affected that are near here or anything like that?
As far as we know, there's no school buses that normally come through this route. We haven't heard of any problems. There's a charter school just down the street, and there's a nursery just across Pleasant Plains. We know parents have been able to get to those children.
To ensure the safety of people in this area beyond when this is finished, do you all check periodically?
Before we leave, we will make sure everything's safe. We will turn it over to Piedmont and Pike. That will be their responsibility, but we will make sure that it's safe before we leave.
Any guesstimate of how long they'll be out there?
I thought we had a sign that we were making progress, but it's back. Again, it could be 5 minutes, it could be a couple hours, depends on how Piedmont can do. An 8-inch gas line is a large transmission main, and their tactic at this point is to try to dig down to the main and apply hydraulic presses, 2 hydraulic presses, to pinch that pipe closed. So once they've got that pipe pinched, it should use up all the gas that still remains in the pipe. Their problem then would be, how are they going to go about replacing that section of pipe?
Next couple hours, sit there and stare at it?
Right now, that's our goal.
Think we'll need more hands on deck?
We've got rehab services here from the Charlotte Fire Department and from EM, so we're rotating crews through where we have to man hand lines, but for right now everything's either aerial or ground mounted monitors, so we've pulled back our presence. I have people from Piedmont, Duke, Pike. If you would like to talk to them, I can try to get them here.
That would be great.
Okay. Stand by.
All right, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break right now. When we come back, though, we are expecting to hear from our reporter who is live at the scene on Embracey. So stick with us. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. You're watching live Impact News right here on our WCNC Charlotte app. We've been following this breaking news for you. A fire in Matthews that started from a gas leak that turned into an explosion. We are going to go to our Autumn Bracey right now, who is live on the scene on Morningwood Drive. Autumn, I know this fire is out. What are you seeing and how are crews dealing with the cleanup right now?
Well, Megan, that fire went out probably about 15 minutes ago, but it continues to be a busy emergency personnel presence here on scene in Matthews as they are working to clean up and ensure the gas line is okay that was impacted earlier from a contractor that was drilling in this area. So I want to show you what the scene is looking like right now. You can see it's a heavy emergency presence, like I mentioned earlier. We spoke with the Charlotte fire chief, and he was able to share with us that not only them but Matthews was on scene as well earlier. So we know that the contractor was the person that the natural gas line was hit, and so throughout the day crews have been working to remove and ensure that that fire is out. As you can see, the fire is out, and further in the distance, you're able to see some of the homes that were impacted as well. You can see it looking like they're a total loss. As far as the people in this area, we've seen neighbors sitting on their porches, kind of peering out. I know my photographer Pierre had mentioned that he spoke with some of the people, not necessarily in this particular neighborhood, but around the block, and they said they'd never seen flames as high as we saw earlier when the fire initially ignited. As of right now, there's no injuries at the scene, but of course it continues to be a pretty intense cleanup process to ensure that, you know, everything is okay for the people that are in this area. Tonight at 4, 5, and 6, we'll have live updates on the situation.
All right, Autumn, thank you so much for getting to that scene for us and giving us a look at what's going on as far as cleanup goes. Autumn did mention that she did talk, or Pierre did talk to some neighbors in that area. So let's take a listen to what they had to say.
J-A-M-I-N.
And last name?
Closton, H-L-A-S-T-A-N.
And you're a Matthews resident, Stallings resident?
Well, we currently are staying across the street here.
Okay. And basically, tell me what you saw about 30, 40 minutes ago, about an hour ago.
About an hour ago, yeah. So anyway, I was doing my studies and work and so on, and suddenly I heard this whooshing sound. And then eventually, about 20 minutes later, 15, 20 minutes later, came out to see with my son what was going on. And so we saw this huge flame, and the police department and the fire department was already there, so they were already helping with the whole thing.
Talk to me about the flame. How big was it?
Well, I think in the picture you can see that it's pretty high. It's over the tree line, and seems like it was a gas leak or something like that. So yeah.
You didn't get right up on it, but you got close enough. Does it look like everybody probably made it out okay? And how scary was it?
Yeah, well, every fire, no fire is safe, right? So anyway, the houses and people around there seem to be taken care of, and the fire department, I think, made sure that everybody was safe. So I'd say the residents were fine, but it still, I guess, needs to be taken care of.
An hour later, we're still seeing the flames right there.
Yeah.
Does that make you a little nervous?
Not really, because I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. Of course, I'd like the residents and the neighbors are going to be fine, but I think they'll be taken care of by the fire department and police.
A lot of times we hear something that might have happened, maybe hear some popping or something. Did you hear anything to indicate there was a fire before you heard the sirens and stuff?
No, like I said, I just heard a whooshing sound. When it was strange, it sounded like there's water bursting out of a pipe or something. So eventually I came out and I saw it was actually fire. Yeah.
And just even being out here, seeing the amount of response, you know, kudos to them to being able to bring the amount of response. Have you ever seen a response this big? And for those who aren't here, what does it look like?
Well, I'd say it's a great response, amazing response, fast response. The police are taking care of the streets and safety, and the fire department, there's a ton of fire trucks and EMTs and other who are making sure that people are safe.
And you were able to get video of it. Did you ever think that you would see video like that in your phone?
Oh, no.
I mean, we're smiling about it with the hopes that everybody's okay.
Correct.
But
Correct.
I mean, you know, I think it probably maybe reminds you of a movie that you're looking at your phone now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So obviously I wasn't taking it for show or anything, but I was just interested, you know, just to see and capture an amazing event like this.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Appreciate that.
What does it look like out here?
A lot of police, fire department activity. You know, there's a lot of action going on out here right now as far as these guys working to get this fire or this gas line put out or fire put out.
And how does this fire look?
It's pretty intense. From here looking at it, yeah. It's pretty intense coming up out of the ground.
And what were you doing when everything happened?
When everything happened, I was getting ready to come up here to pick up the grandkids from school.
And to walk up here or come up here and see this?
Well, I got a little bit of a preview. My daughter was telling me about it, so I called her to see, you know, have an idea what I need to look out for.
Yeah. Does it look like a movie to you?
Yeah, one of them disaster films like deals, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
Never seen that like this in person?
No. But I'm impressed with all the, you know, the fire department and police, and you know, it looked like they got everything in control. You know, you don't see anybody running around going crazy. You know, it looks like okay, they got a situation, they're doing their thing. You know.
And last question: how tall would you say this is?
How tall?
How high up? For somebody down out here, how high up do you think this went?
It looked like to me a good 30 foot or better.
And last one, your name. That's it.
My name's Dave Morgan.
And spell it.
DAVID MORGAN.
Okay, and you're Stallings resident, Matthews resident?
I'm Matthews resident.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, he's definitely saying those flames are intense too. Actually.
All right, folks. By the way, hi, Vanessa Rufus taking over for Meg. We are going to be together for the next hour. So you were just hearing there from some folks in the Matthews area, that neighborhood where we've been following that breaking news throughout the last couple of hours. That gas explosion followed by a fire, which is now contained at this point. This is near the Mecklenburg Union County line in Matthews. We'll have much more for you as we continue on here on WCNC Charlotte throughout the day. Meantime, it is time for a quick break here. We'll be back in 2 minutes with much more Live Impact News.
news breaks across the Carolinas, we don't wait. This is Live Impact News on WCNC Charlotte. Live coverage.
CMS is going to have an emergency school board meeting.
Real-time updates.
These storms have the potential to produce a tornado.
The stories impacting you as they happen. From breaking news to developing stories to moments that can't wait for the next newscast.
Protests happening right now in our nation's capital.
Live Impact News on WCNC Charlotte. Watch now, stream free.
All right, and folks, welcome back here. Vanessa Rufus in the Live Impact News studios. We keep an eye on some breaking news we've been following since about the midday hours here. We've got some images to show you of this Matthews neighborhood. This is right near the Mecklenburg Union County line. A large gas leak and explosion, which we are learning is now under control, but did cause some issues for crews as they were somewhat held back in being able to put the fire out. Really was a safety concern in the sense that they wanted to make sure that any sort of gas or chemical could burn off versus putting that out and having that gas or chemical disperse into the neighborhood. As we mentioned, though, this is now contained, started just before noon today, where there were some crews that were contracted out by Duke Energy. A company called Pike was doing some work. They ended up striking a gas line, prompting all of this. We are hearing the good news is no injuries have been reported right now. We are unfortunately, though, hearing that there is some damage to at least 2 neighboring homes. And we're, of course, keeping an eye on any sort of new reports that might be coming out on that front, as well as from neighbors themselves. So keep it here on WCNC Charlotte as we continue streaming and going into our evening newscasts at 4 o'clock, 5, 6, and 11. We'll be keeping you updated on the very latest with that. And with that, we do want to turn our attention to the weather forecast of the day. It's a beautiful day out there. Feels good, feels comfortable, seasonable. But what can we expect? I know rain is always a question for folks this time of the year, and we desperately still need it. Here's meteorologist, our weather impact team. It's Larry Sprinkle, I understand, here.
We check back in with Larry Sprinkle now as our temperatures are going to be climbing up a little bit warmer than they were yesterday.
Warmer today and next week, whole different situation. Got a great view of the city, looking A-OK. Just a few fair weather clouds out there. Today through Friday, sunny, temperatures in the 70s. Looking ahead to this upcoming weekend, sunny, hot, and yes, definitely more humid next week. That's the issue right there. That's the impact. We're talking about temperatures in the 90s. Definitely a Carolina heat wave on the way to the region today. Very pleasant, sunshine, lots of blue skies out there. Today we're in the upper 70s. There may be a couple of spots actually top out about 80, 73 tomorrow. And then Friday afternoon we're back in the upper 70s. Sunshine, lots of blue skies out there. So enjoy the comfortable temperatures for the big change as we head into the weekend. No rain here. All the active weather well to the south of us. Off the Carolina coastline, off the Florida coastline of Georgia. Some active weather out there. A little disturbance out in the Atlantic Ocean north of here. Along the frontal boundary, that's where the showers are, extending all the way from Kentucky, West Virginia as you head into Pennsylvania. Now eventually we may see a couple showers late tonight across the region, but we're not expecting a lot of precipitation. At the very most you can see less than a tenth of an inch anywhere we go. So not really much at all, and we certainly need it with that situation getting worse day by day. It looks like we could see dry weather all the way maybe as we get into next week. Now today we're looking at temperatures around 2 p.m. at 71 degrees, middle of the afternoon around 4 o'clock in the mid 70s, many spots obviously making it into the upper 70s with bright sunshine, winds right around 5 to 10 miles an hour across the region today. So should be pleasant weather, especially for lunchtime. If you're out and about, you're going to enjoy those temperatures. Very comfortable out there, as we said, sunshine, blue skies. Over the next several days, notice the temperatures below average tomorrow, and then next week, here comes the heat. 88 on Saturday. There will be a few neighborhoods that definitely make it close to 90 degrees. And then we got Sunday, Monday into Tuesday of next week, each afternoon, temperatures ranging into the low 90s. It definitely is categorized as a heat wave, more like you'd see in July and August rather than this time of the year. Across the region this morning, we saw temperatures drop for the most part in the 40s, mid 40s here in the Queen City, dropped to 45 at Hickory. Over at Monroe, 45 was the low, and down in Lancaster, South Carolina, they dropped down to 41 degrees under clear skies. skies over most of the area this morning. So definitely a chill in the air out there this morning as we take a look at current readings around the region. Already 70 degrees in Stanley County, Albemarle, North Carolina, 66 in Gastonia, Boone 63, and in the Queen City we're at 67 degrees, 67 with all the sunny skies out there and those light winds. So a beautiful day shaping up today as we take a look. Yes, dry weather, not a drop of rain expected, maybe a couple sprinkles late tonight, but nothing to really put a dent in that drought situation. As we check that Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast, it's going to be in the upper 70s today, tomorrow morning only in the mid 50s. So a much more comfortable start tomorrow morning, rebounding to about 73 degrees. Great weather. Friday afternoon, if you took the day off, you're going to love it. Now we start in the morning with temperatures in the mid 40s, topping out about 77 in the afternoon. Saturday, yes, hot. It's going to be in the upper 80s. We mentioned this a couple of minutes ago that the really hot weather gets here on Sunday afternoon. We're at 92 degrees and we're in the low 90s as we get into next week, Monday and Tuesday of next week. That's your 7-day forecast.
All right, folks, and as we mentioned, we're constantly keeping you up to date with the very latest on this breaking news out of Matthews this afternoon, the scene of that gas leak and explosion and subsequent fire. Back to our live images there of that scene. This is the intersection of Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive, and this has been a scene for probably about the last 3 to 4 hours at this point. You can see crews remain there, and you also are going to probably notice some work as we go on throughout the evening regarding power, and that is because there was an intentional outage in this neighborhood because of all of the activity and what was at play there with the gas leak. So Duke Energy ended up cutting the power to about 50 customers, 50 homes out there on that stretch of roadway. You could see live look at the Duke Energy outage map. That is still underway. So this outage we're actually seeing, at least on the outage map, reported as an outage that could clear within the next hour and a half. We do know, of course, that the estimated time of restoration, that can definitely change as crews do the actual work and then start to refine the timing of when things might wrap up. So if we start to see that get pushed away from 4:30, we'll definitely let you know. In the meantime, we mentioned that crews talked about some of the difficulties that they had in getting this fire put out, and specifically an intentionality in not putting out that fire from a period of time for a safety perspective. So I want to take you back now to our very latest briefing here with fire officials from Matthews, talking about all we know about this scene and also some of the firefighting processes that took place there at that neighborhood today. Let's listen in.
I'm Rob Kinneberg, R-O-B, K-I-N-N-I-B-U-R-G-H. I'm the fire chief here in Matthews. At about 11:55, Matthews and at the same time Charlotte Fire got a report of a gas leak here on Morningwood Drive. Units from both departments responded separately. We were not aware that they were both on the same call. We did get aware while the event was going on as we all arrived, so we've been working collectively since we got here. Units from Matthews arrived to find an active gas leak in an 8-inch natural gas main. Crews from Pike Electric were on scene setting poles. They were drilling to set the pole. We can only assume that the auger hit the natural gas line. Our crew from Matthews made it to the hole, investigated the leak, and then we're going back to the truck to form a game plan when the gas leak ignited. They were not injured. They were back at the truck some distance away. We immediately upgraded the call from both Charlotte and Matthews to include responses from the Charlotte Fire Department Hazmat Team, Stallings Fire Department, Hemby Bridge Fire Department, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Baker's Fire Department, Medic, Matthews PD, Stallings PD, and of course Piedmont and Duke and Pike have representatives on the scene. Right now, some 2 hours in, We have controlled the gas flow from one direction. Piedmont was able to shut off a gas valve at John Street. They are currently working to locate the gas main and clamp it on Pleasant Plains. Power has been shut off between Pleasant Plains and John Street. It will be for some time. There have been no injuries. There was no one home at the two houses most affected by the fire. We did search those, forced entry and search those homes, but no one was there. We've had some firefighters a little overcome by heat, but they are fine. Medic is on the scene. They have treated no civilians. No one's been transported. We have emergency management from Mecklenburg County here. Charlotte has brought their rehab truck because we will be on the scene for quite a while. We have representatives from the Fire Marshal's Office, Emergency Management. We have quite a contingent here on the county line between Matthews, or Mecklenburg County, and Union, Matthews and Stallings. What can I answer for you at this point?
You said there were some crews that were here when this happened.
Yes.
How much worse could this have been? You sort of look back on it.
It could have been quite a bit worse. Our crew from Engine 12 made it to the hole. They surveyed the problem and then they went back to the truck. But our practice is to wear full turnout gear, breathing apparatus whenever they approach the hole. We were close.
How are you feeling right now, Chief?
We're kind of in a watch and wait position. We're waiting for Piedmont to turn off the gas. Once the gas is off, it's basically a mop-up operation. The onus will be on Piedmont, Pike, and Duke to restore services in the coming days.
Have you been given a timeline for maybe when the fire will actually?
They're working on it currently.
Is there any danger to any of the homes or people around here right now?
No. All the gas that is coming from the line is being consumed in the fire. So we're not worried about gas intrusion into residents. Everyone's house on the other side of the street, we've got multiple water supplies protecting the exposures. We did have two houses that suffered significant damage. Those are the two closest to the hole.
So is everybody on this block evacuated, or staying?
They're staying back away from the incident scene.
What is the strategy for a fire like this?
Protect exposures till you can turn off the gas supply. If we were to try to extinguish the gas fire, then we would have an explosive gas migrating wherever it wanted to go.
So it's putting water around where that fire is?
Protecting exposures.
For incidents like this, what are maybe precautions residents need to take like after this?
Well, all of their natural gas appliances are going to have to be relit. So if they have a gas hot water heater, gas heat, gas fireplace, all that's going to have to be relit unless it has an autopilot to relight itself. Again, all the gas that's being leaked at this point is being consumed by the fire. So we're not worried about gas in people's homes.
And it was Piedmont that was originally drilling, you said?
Pike.
Pike.
Contractor for Duke Power.
What level of fire is it?
We don't really have alarm levels for stuff like this, but we probably have 100 firefighters here on probably 15 frontline apparatus and tankers, and then we have an army of support staff who is also assisting us.
No schools affected that are near here or anything like that?
No. As far as we know, there's no school buses that normally come through this route. We haven't heard of any problems. There's a charter school just down the street, and there's a nursery just across Pleasant Plains. We know parents have been able to get to those children.
To ensure the safety of people in this area beyond when this is finished, do you all check periodically?
Before we leave, we will make sure everything's safe. we will turn it over to Piedmont and Pike. That will be their responsibility, but we will make sure that it's safe before we leave.
Any guesstimate of how long we'll be out there?
I thought we had a sign that we were making progress, but it's back. Again, it could be 5 minutes, it could be a couple hours, depends on how Piedmont can do. An 8-inch gas line is a large transmission main, and their tactic at this point is to try to dig down to the main and apply hydraulic presses, 2 hydraulic presses, to pinch that pipe closed. So once they've got that pipe pinched, it should use up all the gas that still remains in the pipe. Their problem then would be, how are they going to go about replacing that section of pipe? Right now, that's our goal.
Think we'll need more hands on deck?
We've got rehab services here from the Charlotte Fire Department and from EM, so we're rotating crews through where we have to man hand lines, but for right now everything's either aerial or ground mounted monitors, so we've pulled back our presence. I have people from Piedmont, I had people from Piedmont, Duke, Pike. If you would like to talk to them, I can try to get them here.
That would be great.
Okay. Stand by.
All right, and once again, that was Matthews Fire giving us an update on the containment process and all of that. You heard some really thorough explanation of exactly what was at play here. We do want to share, we just got some brand new images from Charlotte Fire. So you actually heard in that press conference, they're alluding to being multiple agencies on scene, and Charlotte Fire was one of those crews, and sounds like they do remain on scene. Just sharing now here on X a few images and videos so you can see some of that fire actively there burning. You can also see a closer look at some of the apparatus that came out, including the ladder truck. You saw on the bottom right corner of your screen pouring water from above down on towards the fire. And they basically are sharing some of the same information that we got from Matthews Fire, but as far as the pictures go, painting a little bit different of a viewpoint based on their vantage point of what their crews worked on and what they were able to capture there on scene. We are continuing to dig into more here for you, so make sure that you keep it here on WCNC Charlotte, streaming throughout the day as we continue to follow this breaking news as we have done since the very beginning. We're going to take a quick break. We'll see you in just a couple minutes.
When news breaks across the Carolinas, we don't wait. This is Live Impact News on WCNC Charlotte. Live coverage.
CMS is going to have an emergency school board meeting.
Real-time updates.
These storms have the potential to produce a tornado.
The stories impacting you as they happen. From breaking news to developing stories to moments that can't wait for the next newscast.
Protests happening right now in our nation's capital.
Live Impact News on WCNC Charlotte. Watch now. Stream free.